So there we are then. Free practice 2 on its way, starting in about 10 minutes. There wasn't really too much happening in free practice 1. So I am keen to see what free practice 2 will bring us. What do you think will the timing tables look like? The timing tables will look like. I hope we will see Haas further up, of course. But apart from that, I don't really have any thoughts on what we're getting into. You think it's going to be slightly better than FP1? Well, I think it's going to be... We're going to see faster times, as there will be more rubber laid down on the track already. I really hope that they got to repair Bottas's car as he crashed in FP1. The results of free practice 1. They were not very spectacular. I don't know off the top of my heart, honestly. Let's see. I think there was a Williams quite high up. Where do I find those standings now? Come on, give me something. Yes, who's commenting? Farrell is commenting live from Switzerland. So I hope my accent isn't too strong. I'm always kind of conscious about that, as I really have a very weird accent and I kind of hate hearing my own voice, so I'm doing it with no monitoring. So yeah, I hope that's all good for you. So there we go, FP1. We got first place for Russell, for Leclerc, followed by Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Gasly, Sainz, Albon, Hamilton, Magnussen, Ricciardo. And then P11 was Norris, followed by Alonso, Zhou, Vettel, Ocon, Stroll, Bottas, Tsunoda, Schumacher, and last was Latifi. Latifi was 4.5 seconds off the pace, which is not too good, to be honest. Quite concerning. Haas was struggling with something. I did some Google searches and I didn't find anything on what Haas were struggling with, to be honest. But they pushed in terrible times with 2.5 minutes and 3 minutes 16, while the others were all around 1 minute 30. It took them quite some time, but they managed not really to get out of this. They weren't incredibly good with P9 and P19 respectively, but at least they got into this 1.5 uh 1.5 minute window. So that is, they said suspension problems. All right, thank you. How the fuck did I not find this? But yeah, did they say something on the issues that Magnussen had, as he was putting in terrible times as well? Like, he just made an outlap and then stayed away from the track for quite some time. Russell could win. I think he could. He is up there, but I think he is able to win that, but I don't know if the car is quite there yet. So yeah, we will see what's coming there, but I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Russell. I would like for it to be Russell, but mm, can't quite see that happen. Not because of him, but really because of the team and the current state the team is in. Where are you from? I am from Switzerland. So yeah, I still like how the track looks. Like, apart from this fake marina, this is always just kind of catching me off guard. But apart from that, I think it is a gorgeously looking track. Very nice build, beautiful. Also with like going under this highway bridge and everything, it's looking quite nice. In free practice 1, we already had some cars just standing there on the highway. So watching free practice 1. So let's see how much of a traffic jam we get for free practice 2, I guess. From Sweden, from Denmark tuning in, nice. About the same time zone, so we are approaching midnight. I hope I'm not too annoying to my neighbors here, as I am living in a building that is not very soundproof, but they gotta deal with it, as I am dealing with them slamming doors all the time. So we got this. We got this. It is. They are showing this marina again, and I'm just. It looks so wrong. Kind of. Also, the blue is very similar to the blue of the runoff areas, which is kind of design-wise not looking too bad, as if like the track goes through the water there. Looks kind of cool, but it's why would you do this? Like, I've been said that this is just a very Miami thing apparently to happen, and I'm glad they did it, as it provided us with great memes about this totally useless marina. But I don't know why they do that, to be honest. Really not. Filipina, 5:30 a.m. there. Now that's some dedication. I had this with Australia, and I will have it again with the Japan sessions, where I will be getting up to a very, very unorthodox, unchristian time, as we like to say here. So yeah, quite thrilled about that, as I have never really seen F1 going to a completely new track, as I am only following it for about 4 years now. Like, yeah, four years. 2018, I started to really watch Formula One. It was quite fun. My grandfather always looked at, and the first Formula One race I have ever seen was Australia 2002 or 2003, where Michael Schumacher had this huge accident where he drove into the back of Barrichello, I think, or something, where there was this huge carnage at the start, and I loved it. And I kind of lost interest in Formula One when I learned that it's not every race going to be carnage like that, and it took me quite some time to get back into it. All right, Nash started watching in 2020, 2016, so quite through the board. Is there anyone who watched Formula One earlier than let's say 2015? Who's up coming in with 2015 on point? Keith attended live, I guess, in 1979. 1999, 97, nice. So some really long-term fans here. I was very surprised when YouTube recommended me this racing statistics channel. Um, that was like, I didn't know that there was something like this, or that there could be something like this, like with all the technical things. By the way, I kinda lost that. We do have green lights, and the map seems to be working. We got a Latifi, Vettel, Stroll, Zhou out. They are not going out as aggressively as they did in FP1. That was quite exciting to see, as they had, like, I don't know what it was, like, I think it was like 13, 14 cars out within the first minute. So yeah. So yeah, but before you all ask, the Mercedes looks way better with the upgrades they brought. As far as I'm aware, they just made some changes to the front and rear wing. It looks like they put some vortex generators on them or something, to generate vortices to seal off the underfloor, and this seems to have really worked for them. So I love this. Like, we have a lot of like old time Formula One fans in here, back from like the V8, V10 eras. Nice. 10 pounds on Latifi binning it. Like, no. No, I'm with you. I guess he will bin it sooner or later. So yeah, did Bottas? No, Bottas has not left the pits yet. And yeah, Verstappen's Red Bull seems to be still on jack stands in the garage. Mm, I read here apparently it is a gearbox change for the Dutchman. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting. We got. I'm still. What do you think about the turn 14, 15 chicane? I can't quite get my head around if I like it or not. With it all getting incredibly narrow and slow, heavy braking zone. I think this is after this technical 12, 13, good exit 13, looks like a medium fast corner so far into that chicane on 14. I think this will be a pristine point for crashes if you have on track battles. Um, Let me look this up real quick. If Red Bull will have a gearbox grid penalty for changing it. Um, it does not look like it. They checked it. Has not revealed any issues. However, there are always the risk of an identified gremlin located in the transmission casing. Blah 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 blah. They're changing it, but it does not look like he will get a grid penalty or something for that change. So what do we have here? All right. Carlos Sainz was instructed to not use any DRS in the opening laps, which was also said in FP1 to Magnussen, I think. Well, he had other issues with the car, but apparently there is a thing with not running DRS open in the opening laps. I guess this has to do with more downforce and more pressure on the tires to heat them up quicker. But I wouldn't actually know that for a fact. There's nice Albon getting a great exit on that 14-15 chicane. Looks like they are really, really looking for the last few centimeters there. Or 2.54 inches. No, 0 point something. I don't know. Conversion has never been my strong suit, which is kind of hard as being a mechanic myself. Yeah, Mercedes has also not gone out on track yet. While we see a beautiful slow motion of Albon drifting his Williams around the corner there. And Stroll completely missing his braking. So, yeah, they are really still trying to get a grip here. Ooh, Schumacher. Schumacher getting back into the pit because apparently some problem with the side pods. Something coming up. So let's see how this goes. I really hope that they can resolve that because I want to see Haas doing well every time, but especially on this one of two home Grand Prix they're having. So, yeah. Sainz already putting in fastest lap at a 1:31, which was about the times we saw towards the end of FP1. But I still expect those times to go lower, as it is guessed that the qualifying times will be around 127 to 128. So yeah, but I don't think we will get much quicker, as FP2 is currently or mostly used by the teams for their race simulation runs. So high fuel loads, not really pushing, but rather check on tire degradation and their fuel use to calculate the best strategy for the race. So we will most likely just see them go around a little, maybe push it at one or another corner, as we see Magnussen weaving it on the straight there to get some heat into those tires. But shot straight over the chicane there. Well, um, yeah, just confirmed. Schumacher had a loose side part. Um, and it is uncertain yet if Bottas will make it out for free practice 2, as his car is still on the stands, still missing some bits. But Paris is out now, so at least Red Bull is getting in some data. Yeah, doesn't quite look like Bottas will be out there this session, or maybe towards the end. So yeah, but Verstappen probably not gonna make it to that session as well. But yeah, Leclerc is doing quite good, setting in purple sector 1s and 2, personal best in 3, and getting this car into P1. 2.5 tenths before Gasly, who is currently sitting in P2 at about 1/10 faster than Sainz. So yeah, quite the time for Gasly, actually, while Zhou puts it into P4, only about 500ths slower than Sainz, which is not where I would have expected Zhou to be. While we have a little spin there of Paris, but nothing really happened. Yeah, 9-10 is apparently a slippery part of the track at the moment. But this should go. This should like go away. So yeah, we still have Tsunoda sitting in P11. That's not looking too good for the Japanese driver, as his teammate is only half a second behind the leader, while Tsunoda is more than 2 seconds back. There we have an officer up on the highway bridge, just filming the free practice. I wonder if they will put something up there. Ooh. Yeah, Mick actually lost part of his left side pod there. Not only loose part, but there is some carbon fiber of him laying on the track. So Perez is still on his outlap. We will see. He just spawned it out on the outlap before, so not really a representative lap of him yet. Mm, they only go about 70 kilometers per hour through that chicane there, which seems very, very awkward speed in a Formula One car. So, yeah. Mm, yeah, Russell driving his personal best there, but only put it up into P9. Pretty much 1 second off the pace at the moment. But his car looks way more nimble, be honest. Looks way, way smoother than it has before, so yeah, I really, really think the upgrades they brought are helping with the whole purposing issue. Um, Jan, I don't know if the Red Bulls really are miles slower than the Ferraris, as on the straights they reached higher speeds in FP1, but they seem to lose out in the corners actually, which is quite the other way around than I would have expected it. Um, but yeah, the Miami Heat is a problem for the Red Bulls, or at least the Red Bulls are coming out transparently saying that they are struggling with overheating. So yeah, also Hamilton looks very pushy, but doesn't really put in any purple laps. After sector 2, he is half a second down on Science, so difficult to really give a statement on that, as no one really knows what kind of programs they are running. Seems like they are all on mediums, so most likely they are on race simulations, ex, except if the medium tire is some freakishly grippy thing versus the red marked soft tire, which we haven't seen out too much yet. The Ferrari seems to have some problems with cooling the brakes, as they have just instructed Charles Leclerc to have a look at that and drive a little bit slower. We can still see that the Mercedes is quite bouncy, and there is Sainz out of the session. That's been it. That wheel is off after a completely unprovoked spin. We are red flagged after a little bit more than 15 minutes of the session. And he was coming off just before the turn 14-15 chicane. Looks like the rear just got a little bit light around there, and then he lost it. Very unfortunate one. Just a bit light. There seems some bumps in the circuit around there, which or maybe he just lost the airflow or something, which is quite a problem in quotation marks with Formula One cars, as they once they go sideways, the airflow just stops and they lose pretty much all of the grip they usually have. So yeah, Science is not doing too good this season. That is very unfortunate. So let's see the replay. Got a fast exit. Nothing nothing I could see there which would be like very error. He's already a little bit slidey out of turn 12, and then in yeah, then in turn 13 he just loses the rear. So yeah, radio just the typical driver, sorry guys. So yeah, but that's been it with Science in this session, while he put in a very, very good 1 minute 30.964. That is nice time there. That's quite a good time for the stage of the session currently. And the stage of the race, or like the stage of the track evolution currently. So yeah, that's gonna be, well, yeah, not. They have some hours time until free practice 3, so it's not gonna be too much of the job for those Ferrari mechanics, but it is kind of unnecessary thing. So yeah, like he had quite a lot of incidents recently, and if I remember it right, there will be his second DNF in a session this season, which is closer to Latifi than it is to his teammate. That is not looking good for him. So yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think Science is a bad driver or anything problematic. Like I really don't want to badmouth him, so to say. But this season he looks way worse. Like he does just not get a handle of this new generation of cars. So yeah. Mm. Kinda sad to see. It's always like kinda want them to do good. I mean, Ferrari has been off the pace for quite some time now, and I would be very happy for them if they get a great season here. While I would honestly rather like to see some midfield teams just going up there, like closing that gap between top and midfield. Max DNF, no. Max apparently stays in the garage for a gearbox change. Um, yeah, apparently the gearbox was just feeling a little bit off. They haven't really found an issue with the gearbox yet. So they just, yeah, change it for good measure, as they really had enough reliability issues in this season yet. So I think they should just do whatever they can to have a reliable car in the race. As yeah. But while we are still under red flag, um let me tell you about some great partners of this project, which would be Planet F1. It is Planet F1 is a great source for pretty much all your Formula One related news. I've checked them out. It's neat and unbiased, really just news coverage in a very entertaining way. While on Instagram, they post quite ridiculous Formula One memes within one of the rather best F1 meme sources I have ever seen. And our second partner, Total Motorsports, which is generally more of a news source for all things motorsports, not only focused on Formula One. Neatly written and actually quite fast with their coverage, I feel. So yeah, um, I hope they get the Ferrari of Science recovered quickly, as we do not have any information yet on when. Oh, there we go. Um, the track is now clear, so we should continue any second now. Hey Dan, yeah, you've seen the mermaids too? I wondered if I should cover that. A very, very Miami thing. I Yeah, Ferrari must be jumping up and down as they have him till 2024. I I don't know. As he really isn't a bad driver, I think it is like this. Mm, I think they will be very unhappy with him if this doesn't improve within the first half of this season, as it is an entirely new philosophy on the car they seem to handle quite differently. Also, the thing with underfloor downforce or underfloor generated downforce is as soon as the car gets a little bit higher or lower or rolls in a weird way in a turn, you just lose downforce. So this seems it isn't entirely different driving. So yeah, but how long is this session staying red flagged as the incident is cleared? Sasban, no, Sainz did not have a bad accident or anything. He just carried a bit too much speed into turn 14 and then just lost the rear. got to meet the barrier of the Shadow Realm right there, and it's basically it just broke off his front right tire, so he wasn't able to continue, but he is fine. Um, Everyone else is fine. Nobody's hurt. Nothing really spectacular or aggressive happened there. So the session will continue in about 1 minute. Okay, and well, Alfa Romeo just confirming that they will not be able to get Bottas' car ready. So he will miss the entirety of the session as well, which is looking pretty bad for Alfa Romeo then. But all right, we got some live coverage from the Red Bull garage. It looks like the car will be put together and ready to drive within the next few minutes. So I guess he will get back out there, and we are green. The two Alpine going out on track first. Generally pouring out there. I need a screen with a higher resolution, as I can barely make out what cars they are from this top-down helicopter view, but I see McLaren back out on track, as well as the Ferrari, I guess, or is that Guan Yu Zhou in his Alfa Romeo? But yeah, it seems like everyone's getting back out, apart from Perez, Leclerc staying in, as it seems. Yeah. But it seems like sorry. Seems like lots of them are actually going out on soft tires now. So seems like we will be seeing some fast runs as they are weaving to heat up tires, charging batteries, and really spreading out the field now. So Sainz wanted to join too, so crashed his car. Max complaining again about heavy steering, which was an issue he already had. Or is it a problem with the gearbox? I wouldn't know how the gearbox would. Well, maybe through the differential might be an issue on turning, but they have had problem with the steering earlier. All right, Verstappen only getting an outlap and is called straight back into the pits. That is unfortunate. And we get a yellow flag in Sector 2, which is the chicane, but it has already been lifted again, so maybe just a little spin or something. Ooh. Ooh, that doesn't look good for Verstappen. There is smoke coming for the car, from the car. No steering, blocking of the other cars. A lot of smoke there. Not looking good for the Dutchman. Not looking good. So yeah, like it isn't very dark smoke, so oh no, his brake is spewing flames, so well, that brake's gonna need changing now. That is very unfortunate for him. But the smoke hasn't been very dense, so I assume it's not going to be anything fuel related. But well, from the gearbox, probably oil, which doesn't really leave very black smoke or something. Didn't even roll. Well, he probably didn't roll it back into the pit entry because of the braking issue, so he doesn't accidentally run over a mechanic or two. But yeah, I guess we will not see him back out in this session. So yeah, keep that fire extinguisher ready there. looked looked good how they got the car up. I think Verstappen will not be too happy with how that was going. But yeah, it seems like Red Bull is back to that reliability they had back in the day with the Renault engine, where they either win or DNF. Looks like they're quite back there. Preemptively getting the fire extinguisher to that rear left brake there, spraying it a bit. Yeah, doesn't look good, quite honestly. That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing for them. Oh, that was the yellow flag. It was Max's car struggling there, basically coming to a halt mid-corner. But the stewards reviewed it. There is no further investigation necessary. It's all good. It was just Lawrence Stroll being blocked off and a bit frustrated there. Yeah, but the smoke we have seen there, I guess it's the brake. Um, because as soon as he stopped there in turn 13, there were flames shooting out of the brake, so I assume it's just there. It seems like the brake line hasn't been closed off or attached properly as some liquid was spraying out, so probably be careful around turn 13, 14 as there might be brake fluid on the track. So what do we see here? Russell in P1, Hamilton P3. The cars are still bouncing, not as bad as they were, but still bouncing, but their upgrades really seem to bring something. While I think this is a very deciding weekend for Mercedes, because I don't think that they will further improve on their side pod delete design if they fuck up this weekend again. If this weekend gets better, they might stick with that philosophy and trying to improve. But quite honestly, I think if they do poorly in this weekend again, they will get the car back out that we have seen in the beginning of practice with the side pods as the others have them to yeah improve on that design. So yeah, the leading field is quite bunched up, like a second, kind of around a second only, splitting up the top 10. So that's not too bad. Leclerc, while he had his personal best Sector 1, he did not improve on Sector 2. So I don't think he will get out of this P2 he's currently having. while Perez pushed Hamilton from his fourth position. But Hamilton already being on another outlap, seems like it's been done with the race simulations now, and they are actually putting in some hot laps. But yeah, apart from all the drama with Verstappen we're having, there were just Mercedes sneaking back up into the top places. We haven't seen them there all season, so kinda happy for that. But will Mercedes be able to carry this momentum over into the qualifying session? Remains to be seen, as they are looking way more comfortable, but still very bouncy, like for real. Let me switch over onto the onboard cam with Hamilton there. So we just see him go onto a straight. Yeah, it looks like still around medium corners, still upshifting, but that head is bouncing around like crazy. So it seems they have rather found a workaround than a real solution for their porpoising issues. Looks like to me, at least. Uh, Unfortunate Albon's fast lap being blocked off by Mercedes there. But yeah, it is yeah, it's just a lot of traffic. As I think this is one of the most driven Formula One free practice sessions, or generally free practice. Yeah, sessions overall. Like free practice 1, 2, an insane amount of car and laps out there. But also, it's only the Ferrari and the Mercedes having two cars in the top 10. So the top 10 are made up from 8 different teams as of now, with only Williams and Aston Martin not being part of it. This is a mixed up grid how I like to see it. Really, like this looks like going to be a great season. Now, this is an interesting onboard as we see Hamilton just gently, very gently leading or almost like dancing his car through the chicane. Like he lost 1.5 seconds there, but his timings overall don't look too bad. And he's into the pits. All right, so that wasn't representative at all. So yeah, hoped for some spectacular different approach of Hamilton there for the chicane, as everybody's basically attacking the curbs, flying through there with only like 2 wheels on the floor or something, and Hamilton seems to just gently, like, sort of dance through there. Ooh, team radio from Paris there. Seems like he clipped a wall asking for damage, but it doesn't look like there is anything, as he is still out there. Is he? Isn't he? No, he isn't. Back into the pits. That was an old radio. All right. So yeah, kinda sad for Max to just spend free practice with a 1 out lap where he just fucked up his brakes. Especially because now it's just more work for the mechanics. Instead, they could have just, double checked things, maybe keep him in the garage for 1 or 2 more minutes, but then get a free practice 2 session. They won't. Don't see him coming back out. Chosen Supra. Is there anywhere where this is live on TV? You could, on one hand, get it on Formula One TV. That is a subscription service, but you get every race and everything else. So, quite a lot of content. Absolutely worth the money. On the other hand, live on TV depends where you're from. Um, Around the whole German-speaking area, like Germany, Austria, Switzerland. It is usually on the Austrian national television and Swiss national television. Apart from that, really depends where you are from. All right, they have just told Charles Leclerc to slow down a bit, like he has no one behind him, and go for another push lap then. So, all right, we got Magnussen coming back into the pits, probably setting up for one more time. He's like 1 second off the pace. That's not the Haas I want to see um, in an American Grand Prix. Like, not the Haas I want to see in general. But, mm, nah, that's. Oh, shit. Yeah, the little love tap Sergio had with a wall brought out the glue gun. Aluminum tape seems like the upper suspension arm has some fractures from that crash. That's unfortunate, but they set the car back down to the ground, so I guess he will see another round in this session. And we have an onboard replay from George Russell. Yeah, he's like his head is looking like he's, I don't know, at a heavy metal concert or something, like just shaking all over the place. So yeah, my take, Mercedes did not solve their porpoising issues, but they found a workaround. So yeah. So Latifi parked it in sector 2, yellow flag. And we have the second red flag of the session. Well, at least Latifi could park it just on a track exit, so that's not too bad. Seems like a transmission issue, as he said he has no more drive. So, I don't know. Uh, probably some gears eaten up in the transmission or a broken drive shaft. We will see. Crash to survive. I wouldn't know. Like this is really something where I don't do this too often, but I have to defend Latifi here, as it really looks like a technical issue with the car and absolutely nothing he could have done about it, as he is now confused, kind of looking at the car, like really not understanding what could be wrong. So yeah, this is absolutely not on him. Um, can't really defend a lot of other issues and DNFs he had this season, but this one, I don't see anything he could have done to avoid it. So Nutella Man is safe for this one. Do I think Mercedes has improved? It looks very much like they did on the timing tables. Um, but quite honestly, the bouncing doesn't look better. So I think the upgrades they brought are rather a workaround of the issue than a real solution to the issue. If even as they are sure on top of the leaderboard at the moment, but also it is the top 10 is split by just under a second. So yeah. What happened to Verstappen? Verstappen got a new gearbox after FP1. And apparently they rushed the installation of that gearbox a little bit, as he was going on his outlap and then his brake caught on fire. It looked a little bit like spraying a round of brake fluid. So he didn't get a lap time in. He just basically drove out, had a brake on fire by the end of Sector 2 and went straight back into the pits. But the session is is continuing now. Two Mercedes seemed to be quite eager on getting out there. As we watch Russell go around the track here. Still everything a little bit wobbly, as I can see changes they did to the front wing, but I still don't really understand what they have supposedly done with the rear wing there. Yeah, but there we go. McLaren is back out. Another Mercedes, as it seems. And Aston Martin, Ferrari, they're just all rushing back out there, as yeah. This is only the second session ever on this track live, so I can imagine they want to get in as many laps as they can, so not only can they gather very important data, but also they can really get this track burned into the memory of their drivers. Latifi should be replaced by Kimi Raikkonen. I would love to see Raikkonen back, but I don't think this will happen. Johnny Greater? No, the porpoising is not gone. It looks better. Not as bad as in previous races, but it is still looking terrible compared to other onboards, Mercedes still have the worst porpoising of all teams out there. So, yeah. But to be honest, I think I like the chicane. This little thread the needle part of the track through this chicane under the highway bridge. I think I like it. I wasn't quite decided so far, but seeing it now, having this very awkward, very, very low speed thing there, I think I like that. It's a good mix in a otherwise generally very fast track. So, yeah. And it looks like whatever upgrade Mercedes brought, it seems to be working, as Russell is still firmly planted on top of that leaderboard. So I think that's good. While it's still slow with 129.9, so almost 1 minute 30 seconds around the track, as qualifying times are expected to be around 128 or maybe even 127. So they're either all bad or nobody is really trying. And Paris got off the track, missing his breaking point there in a little bit of a fight he got with Vettel there. Jeff Razy, do you think that Hamilton has lost morale and confidence compared against Russell boost from a better car over Williams, and that's why Russell is doing better than Hamilton? Quite honestly, I think Hamilton has sort of lost his magic over the past years, where he always had an incredible car in an incredible team with an incredible setup, all tailored to him. And now he has a car that is struggling, and I think Hamilton has lost that magic of adapting to a car that struggles, while Russell is coming directly from Williams. While we've seen Williams, they have not been doing good for I don't know how long. So Russell is used to have to fight and wrestle that car, while this is something Hamilton just didn't have to do for a long time. On one hand, and on the other hand, I think they are using Hamilton as their guinea pig. As we have seen him driving a lot of races with sensors all over the car, which will upset the aerodynamics, while Russell did just get the car, and therefore, of course, was setting up easier to do better than Hamilton. But I really think he is very much struggling with the fact that it's a car he has to fight, sort of. I hope he will come back, as I don't know, I don't like him as a person, as a driver. I was very frustrated by this whole Mercedes dominance. But he's an institution in Formula One, and I would love to see him maybe leave Mercedes and go over to I don't know, um I don't know, maybe even get over to Williams or something, get into a midfield team and really help them improve, or something like this. But I don't think Hamilton will get another world title. I think with this whole new regulation things, that time is over for him. Um, where I think Gasly will end up, Mercedes or Red Bull, I think Gasly will stay with AlphaTauri for a while, as he is doing quite well with that team. Putting the car in places, sometimes in places where it just doesn't have to be. It seems like he's really having fun there. And I don't think he will. I don't really think he's looking to change, like not actively. Um, but I do not think that he would go back to Red Bull, to be honest. So yeah, Carr Hamilton should retire. I don't think Hamilton should retire, but I think Hamilton should switch over. I don't know, maybe. Ooh, Magnussen spun off there. Yellow flag in sector 1, but he can get the car back on track. So that's good. Just a little hiccup there. I think Vettel, I see Vettel retiring, and I would really love to see Hamilton switching over to Aston Martin or something and using his whole experience thing to bring that team up to speed. Like, I don't know if he could or not. Just, yeah, I personally don't like Hamilton and the things Hamilton does and the profiling and everything of him. But apart from that, like, you don't become a world champion over and over and over and over because you're a shitty driver. Of course, he always had pretty much an overkill car that without the pay gap was sort of just a pay to win car. But even with that, I don't think he's the best driver on the grid, but he is definitely a good driver, and I really think he should just switch over to a bad team basically, and help them get better. Like, I don't see Vettel continuing, to be honest, as we just have him spin out here. Um, yeah, that's been it with the session. We got the checkered flag waving there, so everybody is just finishing up their rounds. Looks like. Oh, there. Oh no, okay. I've just seen a crash Ferrari, and for a second there, I thought Leclerc went out of the session too, but it is just a close up of Sainz's car, so. Yeah, Russell kept his first place. Hamilton 2.5 tenths behind him, so we got that. So yeah, we got Russell, Leclerc, probably Perez, third. So yeah, that's been it with this session. Verstappen didn't get back out. Bottas didn't get any track time. So yeah. Um, yeah, now about this, the Hamilton fans need to chill. I don't know. I think most of the fans at anything just chill down. We're all allowed to have opinions. Um, I'm not an expert on all of this, on any of this. I am just a Formula One enthusiast, and I should be seen as such. And if anything's true that I'm saying here, only time will tell. Hamilton's a good driver. He's just cringe. Yeah, I mean, those are the 19 best drivers in the world and Latifi. So we are definitely like I would probably lose a race against Hamilton. I would most definitely lose a race against any of those, except for maybe Latifi. But yeah, in my opinion, we're going to see a practice start back. But what happened with Max? Max got a gearbox change, and that didn't quite work out for him. He went out, but seemingly had a brake issue on his outlap. Went back into the garage and did not get any time set for FP2. Would Max do any better driving a Merc this season? Um, Absolutely not. As Mercedes and Red Bull they are really following completely different philosophies. The Mercedes car is very long, rather front heavy, tends to understeer a lot, while the Red Bull is rather short, driving high rake, and tends to oversteer a lot. I think if Hamilton and Verstappen would switch cars, they would not even get into the top 10, as those cars are looking so incredibly different to drive. So, yeah. Who's my favorite driver? Uh, I don't really have a favorite, so to say. But definitely on top are Schumacher and Ricciardo. Um, Pretty much, those are like the ones I really like to see out on track. Where I also um, out of interest follow like the more or less private or off track content on social media. If you give Hamilton, Leclerc, and Verstappen in the same car, Hamilton would be the worst. Um, I wouldn't know. It really depends on the car you would give them. So yeah. Yeah, Russell seems very prude. Sort of. I don't know. I don't really care about Russell. Like, I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I like him seeing good, as I'm really liking every driver see good. Like, I'm happy for whoever wins or anything. So I'm really not having a favorite, as in I don't know. Latifi is the absolute best, and every other driver just sucks. I don't have any tendency like that towards the driver. But yeah, yeah, Russell, he just seems very clinical and like this overly professional kind of, you know. Yep, Schumacher gets in the points. Me too. Me too. Having him on pole and then win the race from pole, the absolute dream. I want this for Schumacher so bad. So yeah, it is like a thing where I what I think is very difficult. Sort of is to have assessing driver by who is the best driver, as there is many circumstances to this, as like what's the form of the driver of this day, which car are they driving, how many tries do they get, and everything. You're welcome, Luciano. uh what happened to Sainz? Sainz crashed out in the first half of the second. He just kind of lost the rear, spun out. So yeah, Nothing spectacular, nothing dangerous. Just misjudged the corner, misjudged the braking a little bit. Just seemed to get off the ideal line, which is quite dangerous on a new track like this, as there is just no rubber placed off the racing line, so you will instantly lose an insane amount of grip as soon as you just step one tire off the racing line. So yeah, 3 crashes to Carlos. Wasn't it 2? Or was this the third one? I am not sure. Javi, thanks for this donation. That has been it for today, or I guess today, depending on where you're from. There will be free practice 3 session will start in about 18 hours. So yeah, by then we will definitely have Bottas back out there, and we will definitely have, or hopefully have, Verstappen back out there. Verstappen's gearbox change just did not go as planned, and on his outlap, his rear left brake caught on fire, and from that, it's just well, back into the pits, and that's been it for him then, as they were not able to repair the car fast enough to get him back out into FP2. Yeah, Utsi, we are in the same time zone. It's going to be 7 in the evening for me with free practice 3. Laura, you think an engine failure for Max or something like that? I think so too, as I am getting some vibes like back in the seasons when they still have had their Renault engine, where they either won or kind of had an engine failure. So ja, Eugen, hallo. Schön bist du dabei. So yeah, free practice is over. We had a great setting from Russell, Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton, and Fernando Alonso in the top 5, followed by Lando Norris, Pierre Gasly, Zhou Guanyu, Esteban Ocon, and Magnussen rounding out the top 10, and then Sainz with his crash early out, followed by Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Vettel, Schumacher, Stroll, Albon, and Latifi, and then we have Max Verstappen and Bottas, who were both not able to put in a time, unfortunately. So yeah, this has been me. This has been Farrell for Free Practice 2. I want to remind you of our partners, Planet F1 and Total Motorsports, which are both incredible nice sources for Formula One news and some memes on their Instagram, in case you want to check that out. Yeah, thanks for their support, and I will be back in about 18 hours to get you all posted on Free Practice 3.